The Spot Winnie Mays is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The Spot Winnie Mays, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
President Jim Abbott hospitalized after a heart attack. I'm Nathan Finster with the latest coming up.
And we meet some couples whose love has blossomed despite an in-state rivalry.
Plus, we're following a social media complaint shared by a USD student. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Solik.
And I'm Devin Martin. President Jim Abbott is recovering at his home this evening after a weekend heart attack. Coyote News' Nathan Finster joins us with more about how President Abbott's doing. Nathan?
President Abbott drove himself here to Sanford Vermillion. Doctors say he was suffering a heart attack. We've been told that he was airlifted to Sioux Falls for surgery. 69-year-old Abbott has been president for more than 2 decades here in Vermillion. The USD graduate turned president is a very visible part of campus, leading many of the modern changes to campus and the expansion to Division I. He's also had a rough few years after the sudden death of his wife, Colette, in 2016. Earlier this school year, Abbott announced he was retiring in June. We checked in with the search process.
We're excited about that process, but it takes some time, and that time frame will kind of play itself out based on how the committee feels. So I'm just one member of that committee, but so far so good.
The outside agency leading the search process is hoping to finish getting all the applications by March 2nd. Reporting outside of Sanford Vermillion, Nathan Finster, Coyote News.
We're told Abbott is expected to make a full recovery.
Authorities say a shooter at a Florida high school is still at large. The Broward Sheriff's Office shared the information on its Twitter account after a school shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland this afternoon. It's not clear how many people were wounded. The suspected shooter, Nicholas Cruz, is currently in custody. Several people were hospitalized this morning after a shooting at the National Security Agency campus at Fort Meade, Maryland. None of the injuries were caused by gunfire. The FBI is investigating after an unauthorized vehicle tried to enter the NSA's secure campus. A federal official says the incident didn't have any links to terrorism. The South Dakota legislature voted down a proposal which would have required schools to write and make public their policies regarding transgender bathroom use. Proponents of the bill say the measure was needed to ensure schools don't encourage students to question their gender. Now let's take a look at weather with Carter Hofer.
Thanks, Lauren. Right now, it's sunny and 43 degrees outside. Tonight, we'll see temperatures drop to around 20 degrees. Tomorrow, you can expect a mix of sun and cloud with a high near 30 and a low around 2. Friday, we'll be seeing a bit of sunshine again, but cooler temperatures with an expected high of 23 and low near 13. And for your weekend forecast, we'll be seeing some more sunshine as well as a little bit of a break from the freezing temperatures. The temps get up to 37 on Saturday with a low of 23. It'll also be a sunny Sunday as we'll see the temperatures get up to 40. So maybe we'll see some of the snow around town start to melt. And that's your Coyote weather.
Thanks, Carter. Sexual harassment continues to be an issue that's being talked about, and workers in the muck are among those concerned. An anonymous source confirmed that some university brew workers have experienced disturbing comments made to them by a man who reportedly is not a student or faculty member. In tweets shared Sunday by a student, the writer warns others to avoid the man and gave a description of him. Muck director Doug Wagner says there are ways to handle a situation in the workplace if people feel unsafe.
If there's ever an unsafe work environment, it comes from another employee, we will talk directly to Human Resources and file that as a complaint and go through that process. Someone who isn't affiliated with the university, we encourage employees to talk to the university police directly.
Wagner also says there's no official policy about having people not affiliated with the university in common spaces around campus. UPD and University Brew representatives have declined to comment. Find out if you have what it takes to become an RA after the break.
Yoga has
has a way of spilling over into other areas of your life. So lessons that we learn on the mat seem to go with us when we walk out the door. And yoga teaches us to listen to our bodies, to ask for permission, and to learn ways of healing and balancing our bodies.
This is Coyote News.
The Native American Cultural Center and USD's Eye Care program is teaming up to spread sexual assault awareness in the Native American community. The organizations hosted a sexual assault talking circle to address growing concerns of missing Indigenous women and sexual assault. Eye Care's program coordinator, Marissa Cummings, says these issues are rampant in South Dakota.
Hopefully become part of Eye Care.
So South Dakota has a very high rate of sexual assault that goes unreported, and there are issues with Native women going missing or being murdered here in the state of South Dakota.
The event included a craft activity, a discussion circle, and a movie screening of Wind River. The Hollywood film highlighted situations pertaining to Native American women's issues. After the movie, the group and panel continued discussing the need for spreading awareness of this growing issue. Eye Care will be hosting another event about the history of Title IX on March 19th.
This year is the 200th anniversary of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and the USD English Department is hosting several events for students and community members this month. One such event was last week's art creation session at the Bean Coffee Shop in downtown Vermilion. The session was open to all visitors and was free. Participants were provided materials to create whatever painting or collage they wanted, as long as the central theme was related to Frankenstein. The completed works are planned to be displayed in the Coyote Twin Theater from February 21st to March 3rd. There will be an official reception February 26th during the Frankenstein 200 Symposium. People looking to get involved with anniversary activities can go to the Frankenstein 200 page on the USD website.
There's more than what meets the eye to become a residential assistant at USD. The Yote Report's Nick Nelson takes a look at the process.
Becoming a resident assistant at USD comes with many requirements, as well as a 2-week training program. USD RA Austin Romling says all the RAs stay on their toes.
It's just 2 weeks of nonstop meetings and conferences and activities and getting familiarized with the community living policies and the staff. And then again, training occurs for 1 week before the spring semester, and we make sure that once a month we meet up as a cumulative staff and we go over our weak points.
Chances are you've had an RA if you've lived on the campus at USD, but you may not know the process by which to become an RA. Within the 2-week training period, policies and rules for USD residents are taught to the upcoming RAs.
The main set of rules that we have in the resident halls are the CLPs, the community living policies, and those are as basic as we're trying to be quiet at a certain time each night so people can go to sleep. You can't have alcohol in the dorms, and you can't have a pet unless it's been registered with the university.
For the Yote Report, I'm Nick Nelson.
The application process for this fall semester has already closed.
Coming up, we'll show you a new app that will help you in planning your next ride home.
This is Coyote News.
Love is in the air this Valentine's Day for couples of all kinds. I met up with two couples whose relationships have endured a familiar USD rivalry. Meet Morgan and Mark. Morgan is a freshman computer science major and swimmer at USD, and Mark is a junior mechanical engineering major at SDSU. They met in their hometown of Blaine, Minnesota, where they swam on the same swim team. Even though they chose two separate paths for their higher education, they try not to let the well-known college rivalry get the best of them.
Go Yotes, go Jacks, like I'll cheer her on at her meets, and then I'll go to my school and wear my colors. Like, it's not a big deal.
Their friends, on the other hand, are the ones who like to tease them about the relationship.
I go up there like every weekend, so they're like, why don't you stay in Verm? Like, Verm's way better. I'm like, well,
it's not.
When it comes to advice for any other students in the same sort of relationship as them, they said that you should just try to get your homework done before going on weekend visits, but also appreciate each other's colleges.
Enjoy both the towns. I mean, they're both nice. You gotta appreciate where they live and where you live.
Next, meet Craig and Mandy. They met after Craig had already graduated from SDSU, but Mandy was still studying at USD. 2 years later, they got married and moved to Armour, South Dakota, where they both teach math classes. Mandy is also the high school volleyball coach, and Craig is the boys basketball coach. They said the school has formed their own little USD and SDSU rivalry.
If you're SDSU, you're with Mr. Holbeck. If you're with USD, you're with Mrs. Holbeck. And
we have a lot of fun with it.
It's all good fun.
I've gotten a lot of USD stuff in my classroom, and we've got a lot of House Divided stuff from community people.
We do a lot of recruiting for these schools.
Yeah, don't we?
4 months ago, they had their daughter, McKenna. They said they try to keep her as neutral as possible when it comes to the rivalry.
Right when she was born and they played for football, she just had to wear plain. She couldn't wear, red or blue. And
after the USD win, I let her wear red the next day.
As for when McKenna is old enough to head off to college, they said they're going to just let her pick where she wants to go.
I said something to somebody the other day, and they said she'll probably just be sick of both of you and just go somewhere completely random. So we'll just let her, all the jokes, and it's all in good fun. I mean, both schools are good, and we both know that, but we usually don't admit it to each other. So wherever she wants to go is fine with us.
These couples proved that even USD and SDSU can be something more than just a rivalry. You can read more about these couples' stories on the Volant online.
And Vermilion's Safe Rides program has a new alternative when calling for a ride, as Coyote News' Whitney Fowkes reports.
Safe Rides is an option the community has if you've been out drinking and need a sober ride home. Barb Belinsky is the transit director and overlooks the program.
Safe Ride started back in the school year of 2003-2004. It's a program to provide safe rides at late night, Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. The Safe Ride program is actually operated out of the counseling center at the university, and they contract with us to provide the bus and the driver for the program.
The program is now included on an app called Tap Rides.
My understanding, it's through once again through the counseling center that this app came about. But my understanding is the students can use their log-on for the university to log on to the app, and then they can request a ride through the app. And actually, the monitor on the bus has the capability of when they're getting close to that person's house, they can push a button basically to honk at them. It'll beep on their phone that the bus is almost there.
Safe Rides provides 10,000 rides a year on average. The service will pick an individual up from any location in Vermilion free of charge. For Coyote News, I'm Whitney Fowkes.
The phone number for Safe Rides is 624-RIDE.
Now, we're joined by Coyote News' Allie Boyson, who's live in the muck with Cindy Schad, a volunteer of the Sex Me Up event. Allie?
Thanks, Lauren. I'm here with Emily to talk about a sex-positive program here on campus. Emily, who are the speakers tonight at tonight's program, and what topics will they be discussing?
There's different speakers from Sanford Health, Planned Parenthood, Siouxland Community Health, DVSOS, and the ICAR grant. They're talking about different statistics regarding STDs, things like that, and how we as students and as a community can combat that.
How will this program benefit USD students?
I think many students come from backgrounds that don't offer them proper education regarding sexual health, and this event's getting that conversation started.
Do you think Sex Me Up will promote open conversations about safe sex?
I like to think so. They're giving away free condoms and different pamphlets. So even if you go up there, you can listen to a speaker, but at the same time, you can grab something and go home, read it to yourself, share that information with whoever. But it's really just getting the information out there, and I think it's helpful.
Sex Me Up is being held in the CDC until 6 o'clock tonight. Live from the muck for Coyote News, I'm Allie Boyson.
So Nick, I hear the softball and golf team started their season this weekend.
They sure did, Lauren. We'll discuss that, and we'll also tell you about the track team's new national ranking next in sports.
This is Coyote News.
Hello, I'm Carter Hofer. Tonight on Coyote Sports, the softball team opened their season in Arizona.
And I'm Nick Nelson. We've also got the latest mid-major rankings for both basketball and track and field. But first,
Olympic snowboarder Shaun White won gold yesterday in the men's halfpipe competition in Pyeongchang, South Korea. This marks White's third gold medal in the event, having won in 2006, 2010, and now in 2018. White failed to make the podium in 2014. The United States is currently sitting with 4 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals for a total of 7 medals. In other Olympic news, the U.S. men's hockey team lost their opening game to Slovenia in overtime. Slovenia managed to tie the game with less than 2 minutes left in the third period, forcing the game into overtime. Slovenia then scored 38 seconds into OT to take the game. USD's men's and women's basketball teams currently sit in the top 10 of their respective collegeinsider.com mid-major top 25 polls. The men maintain their number 6 position, while the women have improved to 10th place in the rankings.
in this week's Sport Report, Caitlin Ryan caught up with the new head strength and conditioning coach to see how he's adjusting.
Every sport requires more time and energy than their scheduled practices, and this year, USD hired a new head strength and conditioning coach, Clete McLeod.
When the opportunity presented itself, McLeod embraced the offer to work with all of USD's athletes, as well as utilizing the facilities that South Dakota offers to help teams prepare for any games or meets.
This is an amazing facility, amazing town. South Dakota is a great state. They've got a great program going on here in athletics. Like I said, Jevin, the guy before me, did a really nice job. I think he's a very good strength and conditioning coach. So I've been teasing him the last couple of years that if he made the mistake of leaving here, I was going to try and take this role as fast as I could. So he made the mistake of leaving, and I slipped in as fast as I could.
McLeod says he's beginning to know everyone and finding out their strengths and weaknesses so that his coaching complements the training at hand.
I've wanted to be at this position for a long time now. Being actually here just seals that deal even more so. It's the facilities and the steps that this place has taken to move forward and be competitive nationally is absolutely unbelievable. And sometimes you're just too close to that to realize it. But this is like that weight room that I get to go to every day is a internationally fantastic strength and conditioning facility. So to get to go to work to that every day is pretty awesome.
For the Sports Report, I'm Caitlin Ryan.
McLeod's been working with all the sports alongside his two assistants.
Junior second baseman Alyssa Fernandez earned the first Summit League Softball Player of the Week award for the 2018 season. Fernandez is a transfer from Phoenix College. She hit 4 home runs and had a team-high 8 RBIs in 6 games at Arizona State's Kajikawa Classic. Sophomore pole vaulter Helen Falda also earned her first Summit League Women's Indoor Track and Field Athlete of the Week award. Falda earned an indoor best of 14 feet and 3/4 of an inch to take the title in the collegiate section of the women's pole vault at the Tyson Invitational. Falda currently leads the Summit League with that height and ranks 11th nationally. Senior Abby Dufresne was named Summit League Golfer of the Week for the first time in her career. Dufresne tallied 227 strokes over 3 rounds at the Battle at Boulder Creek tournament. She helped the team move up 2 places on the final day of play. Dufresne was with the women's golf team in Las Vegas for their first tournament of the spring season. Dufresne led the team with an individual 4th place finish at the Battle of Boulder Creek. The team finished in 6th place out of 9 teams. Dufresne shot 3 over par in the final round, which helped her move up the leaderboard by 3 spots. Junior Lexi Peterson finished tied for 13th. Katie Bartlett placed in a tie for 23rd, while teammates Julia Hall and Jamie Benedict rounded out the Coyotes, finishing tied for 39th and 54th respectively. The women have a weekend off before traveling to South Carolina for the Kiowa Island Spring Classic.
The men's track and field team is ranked 33rd nationally, with the women at 70th. The rankings are determined by the National Team Computer Rankings generated by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. The men are the 3rd highest mid-major school in the rankings, beating BYU at 18th and Southern Utah at 21st. The rankings come after a successful weekend where 5 Coyotes captured event titles at the Tyson Invitational. The Coyotes took both the men's and women's pole vault titles. Sophomore Helen Falda won with a jump of 14 feet and 3/4 inch, while sophomore Ethan Bray took home gold for the men. Jonah Bart won the women's mile. Freshman Laura Nelson captured the 5,000-meter run, and senior Ashley Thompson won the triple jump in a new personal best. USD competes at the Nebraska Tune-Up this Friday before the Indoor Summit League Championships in a week. The softball team finished 0-6 at Arizona State's Kajikawa Classic. This marked the season opening tournament for the team. The Coyotes competed against 2 2017 NCAA tournament teams in San Jose State and Notre Dame. The Yotes travel to Las Vegas this weekend for UNLV's Marucci Desert Classic. Now, Coyote News' Whitney Fowkes is live from the muck with junior distance runner Eldon Warner. Whitney?
Thanks, Nick. I'm here with Eldon to talk about the track team's upcoming meet. So thanks for being here, Eldon.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So how are you guys preparing for this meet, considering you've done it once before?
This meet is just kind of it's a different thing for everybody. It's a time to just get something quick in. For example, I'm doing the 800. So just something quick to get my legs fresh for this upcoming week. For others, it's for people who are on the bubble of making it to the conference team to try to make it in. And for others, it's just try to get a higher position in the conference.
So you set a new record for the 3,000-meter run at your last meet. How does that affect your mindset for the upcoming season?
It makes me feel a lot more confident. The guys up north, they have a lot of fast 3K runners. And before this, I think I was placed 5th in the conference, and now I'm placed 2nd, while Kyle Burdick is placed 1st, ahead of me just by about 2 seconds. So it makes me pretty confident that I can just hang on to him and try to outkick him.
So you have the Summit League Championships coming up next week. How are you preparing for those any differently than you would other meets?
Kind of yes, but in other ways, no. This meet is a super big deal. This is the first time in, I think, 4 years where we're this close to winning. We're kind of the underdogs this year, as we were 4 years ago when we won. And it's at Fargo once again, and we're competing with the Bison to try to win. And just earlier today, Coach was telling us if all of us just score one more point more than what we're supposed to, we're supposed to take the conference championship by a landslide.
Thank you. The men's and women's track team travels to Lincoln, Nebraska this Friday for the Nebraska Tune-Up. Live from the muck for Coyote News, I'm Whitney Fowkes.
Thanks, Whitney. Coming up after the break, we'll find out what students have planned for Valentine's Day.
Behind the block.
Everything goes silent.
It's just you and the water.
And just wait for the beep.
This is Coyote News.
Traditional Valentine's Day gifts include flowers and chocolates, followed by fancy dinner. But most students don't follow tradition. So we asked students how they're celebrating the love-filled holiday. Here's what they had to say.
I'm gonna go back to my room and she'll be there waiting for me. I'll be on her for a while. She might get pretty hot.
I'm gonna take my homies out on a muck date.
At the end of the night, I'll just turn off my Xbox and go to bed.
At a swim meet.
Well, since I'm single, I'm just gonna hang out with my friends, I guess.
I'm gonna sit at my home and cry with my friends because we're all lonely.
Sitting alone.
Alone with my cat.
I'll be doing my homework.
I'll probably be just putting in a chick flick and chilling with my friends.
I'm gonna be spending it alone, doing homework and going to class.
I have a Domino's gift card, so I'll probably order a pizza.
This Valentine's Day, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my beautiful girlfriend, I'm gonna take her to Little Italy's.
Maybe FaceTime my mom.
Then after that, I'm gonna take her to see the new 50 Shades movie. I don't like those movies, but you know what? I love her, so I'm gonna take her to those.
Nothing in mind.
After that, I'm gonna take her to get some ice cream.
You know, I think I'm just gonna spend the night doing homework and eating Qdoba.
I think I'll do the same thing. I'll go home, do some homework. I might catch up on some of those Olympics, too.
I'm just gonna have a date with a big tub of ice creams. That's what I'm just gonna do. And be sure to pick up a new issue of The Volant out today, featuring an in-depth look at the Center for Diversity and Community.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And be sure to watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week on KAOR and on the Coyote News social media pages.
Thank you, and have a great night.